Revealed, the incredible journey of 1,000 women who found hope beyond the Ottoman tragedy, in the quaint town of Maplewood, where the air was always sweet with the fragrance of baked goods and the sun painted the streets golden. Lila kneaded dough with hands dusted in flour. The rhythmic motion soothed her, yet deep inside, she felt an undeniable ache. Each twist of the dough whispered her dreams, now far-fetched and slipping through her fingers like fine sand. Torn between her family's proud heritage and her own yearning for independence, Lila felt like a ghost in her own skin. The bakery was more than a job, it was an anchor, yet that very anchor felt like it was tying her down. As she rolled the dough, lush conversations floated in from customers, their words brushing against her like the gentle breeze outside. Did you hear about the brave women of Maplewood? The stories of survival from the genocide, their voices were full of admiration, igniting a wildfire of curiosity within her. Lila's heart raced. Who were these women? What strength had they harnessed to endure, to thrive? However, the thought of exploring these tales made her stomach twist into knots. Her mother had always urged silence about their past, the scars of history too deep to revisit, fearing the judgment of a world too quick to cast stones. Why can't we let the past stay buried? Her mother would say, the pain clear in her voice. Lila felt those words echo in her mind, grappling with the weight of her parents' sacrifices. They fled a nightmare, and now their daughter wished to expose the painful truths they had survived. Every story left untold added to Lila's internal struggle. Then the storm of economic downturn struck Maplewood. Families struggled, businesses shuttered, and the community became a shadow of its former self. Amidst the chaos, Lila sensed a powerful alignment between her family's plight and the tales whispered about the town's women. A community project was announced, an initiative to archive the histories of those brave souls. Lila's heart raced with hope and trepidation as she volunteered, eager to unite her mother's silence with her thirst for understanding. As she interviewed neighbors, their stories wove a poignant tapestry of endurance and heartache that echoed her own journey. Each revelation pulled her deeper into her history, revealing the hidden wounds that rested within her family. Tension brewed at home. Whenever Lila brought up those tales, her mother distanced herself, fear blanketing their conversations in discomfort. Lila, please, her mother would say, her voice strained. You don't know what you're asking. Amid community gatherings that brimmed with laughter and tears, Lila recognized the connection she had with those women whose legacies she was desperate to honor. She began to believe that embracing the past could ignite a brighter future, a future where she might reconcile her identity amidst the echoes of her heritage. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the climax approached, Lila began planning an event to honor the 1,000 women, but unease settled like a heavy fog. Her mother, a stoic sentinel against the revealing light, became increasingly withdrawn. The night of the celebration arrived, and excitement tinged with dread filled the air. After weeks of planning, Lila stood ready to share her family's stories entwined with those of others, yet a familiar face slipped into the crowd, someone with judgments that could threaten everything she had fought to build. As the room grew still, Lila's heart thundered in her chest. She was faced with the choice between breaking the chains of silence and the very real possibility of disappointment. Would she leap into the light of acceptance, or allow fear to keep her anchored in the shadows? The answer was just within reach. With the eyes of the crowd fixed on her, Lila felt like the ground beneath her feet might swallow her whole. Every heartbeat echoed in her ears, amplified by the silence that surrounded her. The familiar face in the back, the shadow from her past, loomed larger than life, a reminder of everything that could go wrong. She could see disapproval etched on their features, the way their arms crossed defensively, ready to judge her for this leap into vulnerability. Lila took a deep breath. This was her moment. The event she had poured her soul into was about to unfold. Would she let years of fear and silence dictate who she was, or would she stand tall, reclaiming her voice and heritage? A gentle nudge to her elbow broke her trance. It was Mrs. Petrosian, an elderly neighbor, her hands trembling slightly but her eyes sparkling with encouragement. "We're with you, dear," she whispered, nudging Lila forward, reminding her that community carried strength in numbers. Lila stepped towards the podium, her heart racing yet fueled by a newfound determination. Each step felt like a gentle push from the hearts gathered around her. She cleared her throat, the sound breaking the thick tension in the air. "Good evening, everyone," she began, her voice steadying with every word. "Thank you for being here tonight as we honor the incredible women of Maplewood, their stories, their sacrifices, and their triumphs." As she spoke, she glanced into the crowd, watching faces soften as she recounted tales of survival passed down through generations. The community had shared their raw memories with her, and now she painted those stories with vivid colors, weaving them together like they were part of her very being. She described the love, the heartbreak, and the resilience that each woman had displayed. With every shared experience, voices from the crowd murmured in recognition, acknowledging a shared history no longer concealed in shadows. But halfway through, Lila's gaze snagged on that familiar face again. It was Peter, her old schoolmate. The one who had once laughed mockingly at history lessons, the one who had not understood the pain she clung to. His brow furrowed as he listened, and something shifted within her. Was it pity she saw? Or something deeper? Waves of doubt threatened to crash over her. "What if he judges me?" echoed in her mind. But she chose to silence the whisper of fear and continued to speak, her voice growing louder, passion igniting every word. "And these women know that their stories matter. They've carried their pasts into the present, giving us strength and resilience. We must share this history, lest we forget where we come from." With each syllable, she felt the weight of her ancestors behind her, urging her on. "It's time we break the silence." The applause that followed felt like a bomb, wrapping around her vulnerabilities and transforming them into courage. Yet even as cheers erupted, Lila sensed a ripple of tension. She caught Peter's eyes again, his expression shifted, an emotion she couldn't read flickering within. Fear mingled with hope. Was there potential for understanding where none had existed before? As the event drew to a close, Lila stepped down, adrenaline surging through her veins. She was met with hugs and grateful words, but her gaze kept searching for Peter. The crowd began to disperse, yet she found no release. Had she truly reached even one soul who had once been lost in the dark? Just as she decided to walk away, she felt a hand on her shoulder. Turning, she found Peter standing there, hope flickering in his eyes that mirrored Lila's own rising heart. "Lila," he started, his voice cracking. "Can we talk?" Her heartbeat quickened, a thousand possibilities dancing in her mind. Could this be the moment she would learn whether silence could finally be replaced by dialogue? Lila took a breath, readying herself for whatever was to come. What if this conversation could change everything? The noise of the crowd faded into a vibrant hum as Lila focused on Peter. The anticipation in the air between them was almost tangible, like a tightrope neither was sure they wanted to walk. Would he meet her halfway or withdraw, like so many other shadows lurking in her past? "Sure," Lila replied, her voice trembling slightly, but there was resolution behind it. She gestured towards a quieter corner of the room, away from the remnants of the event and the buzz of lingering conversations. They stepped aside into a small alcove, the light dimmer, yet a beam streamed in through a window illuminating Peter's face. In this intimate space, the pressure to find the right words felt heavier. You spoke really well," he began, rubbing the back of his neck. "I didn't realize how much those stories mean to you." Lila studied him, the boy who had once laughed at her history, now standing with genuine concern. "It's not just about me. It's about all of us. Every woman who felt voiceless." She held her ground, challenging him to comprehend the depth of her convictions. I was ignorant, he admitted, eyes downcast, a hint of regret creeping into his tone. I never thought about how that silence affected people. I can see it now. His honesty stirred something inside her, a flicker of understanding she had rarely experienced. Why did you come tonight? Lila asked, her heart racing. You didn't seem interested in these stories back then. I came because I wanted to change, he confessed, finally meeting her gaze. I missed the chance to get it right when we were kids, and I know it's not just about fixing it with you. I need to learn. I want to understand. Lila felt a warmth spreading in her chest. His words, heavy with responsibility, held promise. Understanding takes time, she said softly. It's not about having all the answers right away. It's the willingness to listen that matters. As they spoke, walls that had once seemed impenetrable cracked a little. She could sense the community they had both sought, each person a thread in the tapestry of their shared past. I missed so many opportunities to listen, to connect, Peter continued, and Lila saw the shift in him. I want to hear your stories. Your courage. It's important. But do you understand the weight of what you're asking? She pressed. Each story holds pain, and it's not easy to share. It's a journey I've only started to embrace. I want to be part of that journey, he said, voice firm. I owe it to you and to everyone else I brushed aside before. For the first time, Lila felt a crack of hope expanding within her, seeing a familiar face begin this journey of understanding. It was a fragile beginning, but it felt real. Okay, she said slowly, her heart pounding. Let us take that journey together. Their dialogue, richer than she ever imagined, promised to peel back layers she'd hidden for so long. But before she could respond further, murmurs from the crowd grew louder, and the moment slipped away like the last rays of light at dusk. Lila. Peter. It was Mrs. Petrosian, waving them back over, her smile bright and inviting. As they walked back together, Lila's mind raced. Was it too soon to believe in the transformation before her? She couldn't shake the twist of anxiety that lingered. Could it be that the journey truly held the potential for healing? Not ready to surrender to doubt, she glanced at Peter, his expression a mix of uncertainty and determination. What awaited them at this crossroads between the past they both shared and the future they dared to forge together? Lila knew they were on the brink of something unprecedented. Can we talk more soon? Peter asked, a hint of eagerness creeping into his voice. That question hung heavy in the air, a promise, a challenge, an invitation to a journey neither of them could fully anticipate. For Lila, the path ahead was both daunting and exciting. Could they really uncover the stories that lay buried beneath layers of silence? As excitement bubbled within her, a nagging thought lingered: where would this conversation lead? Would it unite more than just the two of them, weaving stronger bonds throughout the community? Tomorrow, perhaps, echoes of tonight would inspire an even greater revelation. The next day dawned hazy and warm, a gentle breeze weaving through the trees as Lila tightened the laces of her worn sneakers, her heart still racing from the conversation with Peter. She had barely slept, her mind a whirlwind of thoughts: what it all meant, what could change, and how much of herself she was willing to share. Stepping outside, she breathed deeply, savoring the scent of blooming lilacs. This moment, this feeling, was a stark contrast to the nervous tension of the previous night. She was determined to prepare for whatever lay ahead. Arriving at the community center, Lila felt the familiar rush of energy as she entered. People were mingling, laughter filling the air, but her eyes quickly searched for Peter. Would he be here? Would he still want to talk after everything they had shared? She spotted him across the room, leaning against the wall. He looked different this morning, more at ease, perhaps even a little hopeful. Their eyes met, and an unspoken understanding flickered between them. Lila felt a warmth spread through her chest. Hey, Peter greeted her, his smile genuine. I've been thinking about what we talked about. Me too, Lila replied, her voice steady. I want to share my story, but it's more than just mine. It's about the women, our mothers, sisters, and grandmothers those who went unheard. I want to hear them all, he insisted, his eyes lighting up. I want to understand their pain, their strengths. They deserve to be remembered. As they walked towards a table set up for the gathering, Lila's heart pounded with cautious excitement. They were joined by others, mothers who had come alone, young girls eager to share their experiences, and even a few older women who seemed to wear the weight of their stories like armor. Lila took a deep breath. Maybe we should start this as a group, she suggested, glancing at Peter. We might inspire each other to open up more. Each woman deserves her voice. Peter nodded, clearly moved. Let us do it. I'll help organize it. We can create a space for everyone to feel safe. With Peter's encouragement, Lila found herself standing at the front of the room, slightly trembling but resolute. Thank you all for coming. Tonight, we're here to share, to listen, and to heal. Lila could feel the energy shift. Women began speaking, sharing stories of struggle, resilience, and sometimes heartbreaking loss. With every word spoken, Lila felt a weight lift. Each tale was a thread connecting them, weaving a tapestry of strength that transcended their individual experiences. Lila listened intently, her own pain felt lighter by the shared burden. Hours passed, but the conversation flowed freely. Lila marveled at the courage in the room. She saw nods of understanding and tears of empathy. In those moments filled with honesty, something was reborn, a sense of community that had long felt absent. Just when Lila thought she'd heard it all, an older woman, her voice quaking, began recounting a story that silenced the room. When I was a child, my mother never spoke of her past. As the woman continued, Lila's heart raced. This was what the journey was all about. Would she truly find the courage to share her own story in response? But before the woman could finish, the door swung open with a bang, startling everyone. A gust of cold air blew through the room, carrying with it an unsettling energy. Sorry, I'm late, shouted a young girl, her cheeks flushed. You won't believe what I just found out. Lila's mind reeled. What revelation could possibly alter the course of their gathering? The air thickened with anticipation as every pair of eyes turned towards the girl, who held a scrap of paper tightly in her hands. What is it? Peter leaned in closer to Lila, their previous conversation overshadowed by this unexpected twist. Lila felt an urgency swell within her. Would this lead them further down the path of healing they had started? Or would it shatter the fragile bonds they were building? The young girl's eyes sparkled with curiosity and urgency. I found this in my grandmother's old trunk, she exclaimed, breathless with excitement. She unfolded the crumpled paper carefully and held it up for everyone to see. The room fell silent, each face leaning in, filled with a mix of skepticism and wonder. What is it? Someone whispered from the back. With trembling hands, the girl read aloud. It's a letter written by my great-grandmother, dated 50 years ago. It talks about her experiences, about the struggles she faced during the war and how women like her bonded to survive. As the words flowed from her lips, Lila felt a surge of connection to the girl's great-grandmother, an unseen thread linking them across generations, much like the stories they had been sharing. There was something powerful in knowing that those who came before them had faced their own battles, rising against the odds, hoping for a better tomorrow. Lila's heart raced. Would this revelation inspire their gathering to delve deeper? The girl's voice dropped, filled with reverence. She wrote about a secret meeting place where women would gather to share their trials, their hopes and dreams, and how they supported one another, just like we're doing now. Gasps broke out around the room. Lila blinked back tears. Each woman seemed to be lost in thought, recalling their own family histories, their mother's courage woven into the fabric of their memories. Peter's gaze met Lila's, a silent agreement moving between them. His eyes shone with possibility. Let us not just listen to her story, Peter said, standing up, let us explore how her words still resonate today. Maybe we can create our meeting place in honor of all the women who have inspired us. Lila felt a warmth swell in her chest. This was more than a gathering, it was becoming a movement. Each woman here was part of a legacy, a rich heritage of strength and resilience. She could feel the urgency of the moment crackling in the air. As they discussed how to commemorate the stories of their past while forging a path to their futures, Lila found herself nodding along. Ideas bounced from one person to the next, growing bolder and richer with each suggestion. They talked about documenting their stories, creating a book that would stand as a testament to their survival and thrive. But just as they reached a consensus, the room's energy shifted again. It was palpable. Lila felt the air go thick with anticipation as another knock echoed on the door, louder and heavier than before. Everyone paused, eyes darting nervously toward the entryway. "Who is that now?" someone murmured, unease creeping back into the atmosphere. Curiosity buzzed through the crowd as the door creaked open slowly, revealing a woman silhouetted against the fading light outside. Lila's heart quickened. Was this another revelation? What if this newcomer was yet another voice from the past, or worse, with secrets that could upend their fragile unity? "Excuse me, can I come in?" the woman asked, her voice steady and calm despite the tension. Lila felt a mix of dread and anticipation as she stepped forward. Would this be another story adding to their collective healing? Or something entirely different? The uncertainty hung heavy in the air, the question lingering as she caught the woman's gaze and saw a flicker of recognition in her eyes. "Who are you?" Lila breathed, half afraid of the answer. "I'm here for the stories," the woman replied, a hint of urgency in her tone. "And I might just know more than you realize." Lila's breath hitched. What was this woman about to reveal? The room held its breath, ready for whatever twist awaited them next. The woman stepped fully into the room, a soft glow illuminating her face. She looked familiar to Lila, but she couldn't quite place her. The tension crackled like static electricity, each woman waiting for the next move. "I'm Sylvia," the newcomer said, her voice steady, cutting through the silence. "I've traveled a long way to be here today because your stories, the ones you're about to share, are more important than you know." "Why?" Lila asked, though her heart was racing. She felt a mix of longing and fear. Why was this stranger here, and what did she know? "The tales of resilience and courage you're gathering," Sylvia continued, "they're part of a much larger narrative. Those women in your great-grandmother's South meeting place, they were pioneers, and they connected to something greater. Women like them fought not just for survival, but for a future. I've spent my life documenting those stories." Something clicked in Lila's mind. She had heard of a historian who dedicated her work to women's narratives, collecting letters, diaries, and oral histories from across the country. Was this her? "I've discovered that there were over 1,000 women who came together during the Ottoman tragedy, as many call it," Sylvia added, glancing around the room, her eyes soft yet fierce. "They were from every walk of life, but they understood the power of sharing their tales, of finding strength in each other, just as you are now." A murmur rippled through the group. Lila felt the weight of history pressing down on her, but it also sparked something fierce and bright within her. "All those stories," Sylvia continued, "could shine a light on the struggles women face today. They can empower you and generations to come. Why did nobody talk about this before?" a woman in the back asked, her voice breaking the spell of silence. It was a good question, and Lila felt its weight. "They were silenced, lost in the shadows of powerful narratives," Sylvia replied, her gaze steady. "But you are here to reclaim those voices. And I want to help." Before Lila could respond, the young girl who had first shared the letter stood up. "Can you tell us more? About our histories? About our past?" Sylvia nodded gravely. "I can." An electric buzz of anticipation filled the room. Ideas and questions whirled around like autumn leaves caught in a gust of wind, yet amidst it all, Lila felt her heart quiet. "Let's make space for this. Let's hear these stories," Peter said, echoing the sentiment from earlier. "Together, we can thread them into something beautiful." Lila felt tears prick at her eyes again. This gathering was growing into a tapestry, woven from the threads of countless lives. "All right," Sylvia said, her smile softening. "Let us start with one significant story. I have a letter that held the key to many of these women forging a better life during the darkest of times. It was written to my grandmother by one of them." The room shifted, as if the very walls were leaning in closer, ready to absorb every word. "What does it say?" echoed a voice, pulling everyone's focus back to Sylvia. With a deep breath, Sylvia unfolded the letter, her fingers gently tracing the delicate paper, revealing words that would bridge the past with their present. As she began to read, Lila could feel all eyes on Sylvia, anticipation hanging heavy in the air. What secrets, what lessons would be unveiled? Would they find strength in these words, perhaps even a call to action for their own journeys? In that moment, Lila realized they weren't just listening, they were on the verge of awakening a movement. The atmosphere brimmed with emotion, but as Sylvia read on, Lila couldn't shake the feeling that some truths could be even more shocking than the stories they'd already uncovered. What mysteries lay buried within those pages? Would their own stories become intertwined with the past, leading to a destiny none of them could foresee? Sylvia's voice was steady, almost rhythmic as she began to read the letter. Each word flowed like a thread binding their collective past to an uncertain future. The room felt electric, every breath held in anticipation of the revelations to come. Lila leaned forward, her heart pounding, drawn into the seductive weave of history and emotion. "My dearest Anna," Sylvia began, her voice growing softer yet more intense. "If you are reading this, then I am gone, but know that the hope we nurtured won't fade. Our journey has been fraught with despair, yet we have intertwined our stories like the strands of a beloved tapestry." The way she spoke made it seem as if Anna's spirit was there with them, hovering just above the gathering. Lila could picture the woman, filled with courage, penning her thoughts amidst conflict and chaos. She imagined the smell of ink, the scratch of the quill, and the weight of emotions soaked into the parchment. Sylvia continued, recounting Anna's account of the struggles, the hunger, the loss, the relentless fight to survive. "Every day we chose to tell our stories, we found hope in each other's eyes. In the darkest moments, we refused to be silenced, we sang songs of joy even when the world around us was crumbling. For every woman who fell, another rose to carry the flame." The energy in the room shifted. Lila glanced around, she saw the faces of women captivated, some with tears streaming down their cheeks, others with clenched fists, empowered by Anna's determination. They were not just listening, they were feeling the weight of history press against their own burdens. "What happens next?" a voice called out, breaking through the haze of emotion. Lila recognized it as the young girl from before. Her eyes sparkled, brimming with curiosity and innocence. "Anna spoke of the transformation that occurred when we published the collection of our stories," Sylvia continued, her own voice gaining strength. "It became a beacon for countless women, pushing against the tides of their own struggles. They found solace and unity in our words, which echoed across communities, sparking movements for change." A murmur of excitement rippled through the room. Brought to life was the idea that their stories mattered now just as Anna's had long ago. With every word Sylvia read, the women felt the layers of fear peeling away, revealing a fierce resolve that gripped their hearts. "We can do that too, can't we?" Lila whispered, not fully aware she'd spoken until Sylvia turned to her with a knowing smile. "Yes. You must." The air felt different now, thick with possibility. The message was clear, they had the power to redefine their narratives, not just repeat the stories of others. They could innovate, uplift, and empower with their own journeys. As Sylvia finished the letter, she folded it carefully, placing it back in her pocket. "Now, I want to hear from you," she said, her gaze sweeping across the group, igniting a fire within each heart. "What do you want to share? What's your story?" Lila's heart raced. Here it was the moment to connect the past with the present, to breathe life into their shared experiences. But beneath the excitement lingered a weight of uncertainty. What if their words weren't enough? Could her own story stand up against the trials faced by women like Anna? Questions swirled in her mind, a tempest waiting to unfold. The others muttered uncertainly, their faces a mix of hope and apprehension. "Let us take turns," Peter suggested, breaking through the uncertainty. "We can start small." As the first woman stood up, Lila felt an urge to reach out, to pull others' hidden stories from the shadows. Something magical was happening, but the challenge stretched ahead. What truths would surface? Would they find the strength to bare their souls? With relighting courage, each must share their struggles, hoping their words would inspire the movement they ignited together. With bated breath, Lila turned to Sylvia, whose eyes were alive with anticipation. "What if it changes everything?" she asked, just above a whisper. "Maybe it will," Sylvia replied, "but some changes are worth the risk." Lila felt her heart thump louder. The journey was just beginning, and the unfolding narrative promised to lead them into uncharted territory, a place where the past and present could collide, transforming their futures forever. What would emerge from the stories waiting to be told? The first woman stood, her hands trembling slightly at her sides. Lila held her breath, the air thick with anticipation. It was as if they were all holding onto a fragile thread, waiting for her to weave it into something meaningful. When she spoke, her voice was soft, yet powerful enough to fill the silence. "My name is Maria," she began, her gaze sweeping across the room, meeting eyes filled with encouragement. "I grew up in a village where the sun always seemed to shine. My family had a little farm. We were happy, even if we had little. But everything changed when the soldiers came." Her breath hitched, and Lila could see the pain etched in Maria's features. "They took everything. My home, my family." Tears glistened in Maria's eyes, yet she pressed on. "I ran, carrying only a small bundle of my mother's things. I had no idea where to go. I felt lost, like a piece of driftwood in an endless sea." Lila's heart ached for her. The room felt heavy with grief yet sparkled with solidarity. Maria's words dripped with truth. The turmoil unfolded like a newly opened book, and Lila could see the images in her mind, the fear, the helplessness, the search for hope. But amidst the horror, Maria continued, her voice now gaining strength, "I met other women like me. We formed a bond, sharing our stories as we fled. We laughed, we cried, and, most importantly, we listened. In avoiding our own darkness, we found light in each other's company." There were murmurs of agreement as others nodded, connecting with Maria's experiences. Lila felt a warmth spread in her chest. The power of shared stories was undeniable. "And then," Maria said, tilting her chin up, "we decided to document what happened to us. Each letter we wrote became a lifeline. It told our truth, our sorrow. But it also told of our strength. We became authors of our own fate." Lila felt inspired. Maria's words echoed Anna's letter. They had the power to change narratives, to grab hold of their destiny with both hands. As Maria finished, the room erupted into soft applause, hearts swelling with shared courage. Lila looked around and caught Sylvia's eye. There was a dawning realization: stories mattered, each one like a flame igniting the darkness. Next, a younger woman stood. She looked hesitant but emboldened by Maria's bravery. "I'm Tessa," she said, her voice quivering. "My family has always struggled with addiction. For years, I felt trapped in that cycle." She wrung her hands but didn't falter. "But during one of the darkest moments, I found a journal. I started writing my feelings down. It was my escape. Slowly, my words helped me heal. They turned my pain into something I could understand." Lila could see the impact. Other women leaned forward, wide-eyed. They all shared that invisible thread, each story interconnected, each person a vital part of a greater tapestry. As the voices filled the room, Lila felt her own story clawing to the surface, battling her fears. She couldn't stay silent. But the shadow of doubt loomed large. What could she share that was so different? What if her truth didn't resonate? When the next woman finished, she caught Lila's gaze, urging her forward. "Now it's your turn," Sylvia said gently. Lila swallowed hard. The encouragement from the room felt like a warm blanket, yet her mind raced. Fear and hope danced in her thoughts, intertwined like the stories they had just heard. But just as she opened her mouth to speak, a thud echoed outside. The abrupt sound cut through the air like a knife, startling everyone into silence. What was that? Someone whispered, a twinge of apprehension evident in their eyes. Lila's heart hammered in her chest. This was not the moment she had envisioned. But suddenly, everything felt too fragile, too delicate to ignore. What had interrupted their sacred space? And would it change everything they had just started to build? The tension in the room thickened as the thud faded into a haunting silence. Every woman held her breath, eyes darting toward the door, like frightened deer sensing a hunter nearby. Lila's palms were clammy. She could feel the weight of anticipation hanging heavy in the air, pressing down on everyone. "What if it's nothing?" whispered a voice from the back, trembling with uncertainty. But Lila found it hard to believe that. It felt too sudden, too sharp to be dismissed so easily. She locked eyes with Sylvia, whose expression mirrored her own concern. Another thud resonated, this time louder and punctuated by a scuffle. Discomfort rippled through the group, and instinctively, they all leaned in closer, seeking comfort in their collective presence. Just then, the doors swung open with a force that startled them all. A man stood in the entrance, wild-eyed, breathless, and clearly agitated. His shirt was torn, and dirt smeared across his face. The room fell into an uneasy hush, the kind that pricks the skin with fear. You need to hide," he gasped, his words tumbling out in a mixture of urgency and dread. "What is happening?" Maria stepped forward, her voice steady despite the girl thrum of panic spreading through the room. "It's the soldiers," he panted, barely managing to catch his breath. "They're looking for women, the ones who talk. You can't stay here." Lila's heart lurched. The stories they had begun to share, the bonds they were weaving, would it all soon be shattered? She watched Maria, eyes wide, as the other women began to murmur in hushed tones. No, Tessa protested, shaking her head as if denying the reality would push it away. "We can't just run. We're finally starting to heal. We can't be silenced again." "But what if staying means danger?" Another woman argued, her voice tight. What if they find us here?" Lila felt her own thoughts spinning. She thought about Anna's letter, the words that had stirred such hope in her heart. It felt as if those words were now teetering on a cliff, ready to tumble into an abyss. She wanted to speak, to soothe, to lead, but the chaos in her mind made it hard to find the right words. "Listen," the man said, stepping further inside, his expression fierce and resolute. "You can't just sit in fear. You need to choose, stay and risk everything, or go and find safety. Together." Lila's heart raced. This was the moment to take a stand. How could they face this fear and still find strength in each other? The stories they had told were life-affirming, woven from threads of survival. "What if we combined our strength?" she suddenly blurted, surprising herself with her own words. "What if we stand together now, our voices stronger in unity than in silence?" The room held its breath again, caught between hope and fear. Could they really confront this new danger while still honoring the power of their shared stories? As everyone looked at her, Lila felt a strange surge of courage. She had to try. It's not just about hiding. It's about showing that we won't be silenced. Together, we can rise stronger no matter what happens. But outside the walls, the sound of boots marching grew louder, quickening Lila's pulse. Was it too late? How could they find their voice in the face of impending chaos? "What will you choose?" the man challenged, eyes scanning the group, hoping to ignite a spark of bravery. The door rattled ominously, the soldiers closing in. Lila's heart raced as she faced the uncertain future. Would they flee and abandon their stories, or confront whatever lay ahead together? The question hung thick in the air, echoing the fight for their voices. And in that moment, Lila realized how much was truly at stake, and what lay ahead was a journey unlike any they had faced before. The room was engulfed in uncertainty, breaths held tight as the pounding of boots drew near. Lila felt her heart thundering in her chest, every beat a reminder of the courage she needed to summon. This was their moment, a moment framed not just by fear, but by the sheer potential to reclaim their narrative. Together Lila repeated, letting the word linger in the air, a rallying cry. We can be strong. We can face whatever comes, but we need to decide right now. Around her, the weight of her words cast a spell. As women exchanged glances, determination flickered in their eyes, igniting fires within that had long lain dormant. They were no strangers to adversity, each had battled her own storm. Maria stepped forward first, her chin lifted high. I am not afraid to speak. I refuse to go back into silence. A murmur of agreement swept through the crowd, fueling Lila's resolve. This was bigger than any one story, they carried the weight of an entire lineage, woven together by the threads of survival and resilience. The man nodded, his expression earnest. There's strength in numbers. If you stand together, you can show yourselves as unstoppable. Lila stepped nearer to the front, a sense of clarity washing over her. We need to share our histories, every single one loudly. Not to shy away from danger, but to fortify our bond. If we allow fear to dictate our actions, we lose the very essence of who we are. Every woman in the room sagged under the gravity of the decision, but also found empowerment in it. They united with a sense of purpose, their past stories lacing around them like protective armor. All right, Maria said, her voice rising. Let us get our things together. We can't just run, we need to tell our stories while we still have a chance. We can use our voices as shields. Then we'll meet at the old stone shed by the edge of town. The man shouted, his voice strong and sure, laying out a plan. It's secluded. They won't think to look there. But you need to move now. With urgency taking over, the women sprang into action. Lila grabbed her notebook, worn and filled with inked memories, a reflection of their collective journey. As they raced for the door, she glanced back at the room where stories had begun to flow freely, their roots dug deep and ready to flourish. Outside, the world weaved into chaos. The sound of boots grew louder, echoes of power marching through the now hushed streets. Yet Lila felt a swirl of determination in her gut, the adrenaline racing through her veins compelled her to move forward instead of retreating. Even in the face of danger, hope nestled in the corners of her heart. She remembered Anna's words, the strength they represented, reminding her that each woman's narrative could forge a path to healing and transformation. Reaching the stone shed, they paused briefly. The tension shifted from fear to resolve, as they gathered closer in without fear of the world outside. We stand strong together, Lila announced, her voice steady despite the tremors of uncertainty around them. Let us speak our truths for every woman who couldn't, for all the silenced voices that echo through our stories. As they settled in the dim light, each woman took a turn sharing her experiences, the ambience lit by a mixture of fear, passion, and empowerment. Lila felt the energy build, voices harmonized in a mosaic of pain and strength, detailing struggles and triumphs, laughter intermingled with tears. Outside, she sensed the soldiers advancing nearby, but within the shed, they found refuge in honesty. They shared tales of laughter, loss, hope, and unwavering determination, each word weaving a patchwork quilt that draped around their shoulders as protection against the storm raging outside. Hours passed, it felt like time stood still. Each story became a mantra of resilience, creating warmth amidst the cold. Lila realized that as vulnerable as they felt, they were not alone. They were each other's reflectors, amplifying hidden strength and courage, charting a new course dictated by their truths and solidarity. Just as darkness began to pull its heavy cloak over the day, they heard the soldiers grow quieter, a distant debate, and then footsteps retreating into the shadows, leaving behind the threat that had loomed. Gasps of relief filled the air. They had prevailed this time, fortified by the stories they shared. "Can you feel it?" Lila said softly, glancing around at her sisters. "We did this. Together." The hope in her voice ignited smiles, deepening the sense of community. Each woman had cracked open a door, revealing the air of freedom they had fought so hard to preserve. It wasn't merely about escaping danger anymore, it was about embracing the transformation birthed from shared vulnerability. This was incremental, fragile yet radiating an undeniable strength. As they emerged from the shed into the twilight of a new day, Lila knew they had begun to weave something beautiful, a legacy that could ripple through generations to come. With gravity pooling in her chest, she whispered, "Let us always remember this: our stories matter, and through those, we find our power." And with that spirit alive within each of them, they prepared to step into the future, constant echoes affirming their bond, ready to reclaim not only their own history but to illuminate the narratives of people across generations, forging a path thrumming with unity, resilience, and hope. Now it's your turn to step up. You need to subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss more empowering stories like this one. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and show your support. Comment below with your reactions and feelings about this ending. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. True fans understand the importance of supporting our journey. Let us keep this momentum going.